Afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Smith, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission. I call this meeting of the Commission to order on November 7, 2024 at 1:03 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
Present.
Commissioner Peritick.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a floor.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Today's meeting is being held in person at the Commission's office here at 7109 West Saginaw Highway in Lansing. I note for the record that Commissioner Carrion is not present at today's meeting as she is currently on parental leave, and we're very excited about that. We are also hosting this meeting remotely using Microsoft Teams. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. If you are participating via Microsoft Teams, you may also turn on the live captions by clicking on the More button at the top right of your Teams window, then clicking on Language and Speech from the drop-down menu, and finally clicking on Turn on Live Captions. As noted in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose the remote connection, the Commission will not recess. The meeting will, however, be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the commissioners can receive comments via lara-mpsc-commissioners2@michigan.gov. And for reference, this email is also included in today's meeting notice. We will have an opportunity, of course, for the public to make comments as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comments are limited to 3 minutes and 1 per person. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must do so in person or remotely through Microsoft Teams or by calling into the meeting by phone. For individuals attending in person and who want to make a verbal comment, please fill out a comment card. They look like this, and they're available at the front table near the podium. For individuals participating remotely by Microsoft Teams and who want to make a verbal comment, you may click on the raise hand button at any time to be queued up for comment. For individuals participating remotely by phone who want to make a verbal comment, you may press *5 at any time to be queued up for comment. And those public commenters on both Microsoft Teams and on the phone are added to the same speaker queue and will be called upon in the order that they enter the speaker. Please do not lower your hand or minimize disruptions. Attendees participating by Microsoft Teams or by phone will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. First order of business is approval of the agenda for today's meeting.
I move for the approval of the agenda for today's commission meeting.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by unanimous vote. The agenda is approved. Next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the October 10, 2024 commission meeting.
I move for the approval of the minutes from the October 10, 2024 commission meeting.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the October 10, 2024 commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by a unanimous vote. The commission meeting minutes of October 10, 2024. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. And today the commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Jana Bachman. Recognize Ms. Bachman.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 6 communication matters and 1 gas matter. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Bachman. I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by a unanimous vote. The orders and minute actions on the consent agenda are approved. As Ms. Bachman.
Item 4A1 is case number U-15966, which involves an application filed by Assurance Wireless USA LP to expand its eligible telecommunications carrier service area. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-15966.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We'll now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-15966 is approved. Recognize Ms. Bachman.
Item 4B1 is case number U-21373, which involves the proposed amendment of Mich Admin Code R460.813 within the Commission's rules governing electrical supply and communication lines and associated equipment to update the rule to adopt by reference the most current version of the National Electrical Safety Code, that being the 2023 edition, The order before you approves the proposed amendment of the rules for submission to the Michigan Office of Administrative Hearings and Rules and the Legislative Service Bureau for their formal approvals.
Thank you, Ms. Bachman. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21373.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21373 is approved. Recognize Ms. Bachman.
Item 4B2 is case number U-21567, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to open a docket to implement the provisions of Public Act 229 of 2023 and related definitions of Public Act 235 of 2023. Item 4B3 are case numbers U-21670 et al., which assign docket numbers and filing deadlines for energy waste reduction reconciliation proceedings for 2024 and annual reports. Item 4B4 are case numbers U-21679 et al., which are matters involving utility energy waste reduction programs pursuant to Public Act 295 of 2008 as amended. Staff member Katie Smith will describe the orders.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on energy optimization items. On today's agenda is the order for 21567. This case pertains to Public Act 229 of 2023. Case U-21567 relates to the implementation requirements for energy optimization plans, which include required energy waste reduction plans for electric and natural gas providers and optional efficient electrification plans by electric providers. On February 8th, 2024, on the Commission's own motion, the Commission set a deadline for comments and reply comments to be filed regarding Public Act 229 of 2023 and directed the Commission staff to work with interested parties to minimize barriers to participation in low-income energy waste reduction programs and reduce overly burdensome verification processes. Comments were filed by interested parties by July 17th, 2024. Commission staff reviewed the comments and provided a presentation to the Commission on the findings and recommendations. The Commission in this order today provides clarity and direction based on the consideration of the comments filed. With respect to defining efficient electrification measures, Act 229 defines an efficient electrification measure as an electric appliance or equipment installed in an existing building to electrify in whole or in part space heating, water heating, cooling, drying, cooking, industrial processes, or another building or industrial end use that would otherwise be served by combustion of fossil fuel on the premises, and that meets best practice standards for cost-effective energy efficiency as determined by the Commission. The Commission finds that many commenters felt it was appropriate to rely on established and citable sources such as Energy Star and EPA or United States Department of Energy publicly available sources. The Energy Star program aims to set levels higher than required by federal code or marketplace minimums. Efficient electrification measures within a provider's plan should have similar goals. In this order, the Commission finds that Energy Star standards should apply when they exist for a measure. For measures that are not covered by Energy Star, the EO Collaborative or Energy Optimization Collaborative should determine whether similar industry standards exist and should apply in instances where no such similar industry standard exists, they should be developed in the EO Collaborative. Clarity is also provided in this order for qualified projects claiming savings and utilizing information available within the Michigan Energy Measures database. A utility provider may claim savings from qualifying projects that involve multiple funding sources, such as federal weatherization dollars or funding that may result from IRA or the Federal Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act funding opportunities. This order also discusses investment in workforce development. Currently, Deemed savings are offered for program investment in health and safety, pilots, and education programs to promote the most robust and constructive program offerings and outcomes. A provider's investment in workforce development will result in a direct benefit to the provider as the local workforce will be better equipped to implement the energy waste reduction and efficient electrification programs established by the provider. Therefore, workforce development shall not receive deemed savings. However, investments in this area will still flow through the utility provider's EO plan. Within this order, the Commission finds that the Michigan Energy Measures Database, in conjunction with the Energy Optimization Collaborative, is the most reasonable place to appropriately vet and incorporate efficient electrification measures and the values necessary to assist the development of these plans. Specifically, the order directs the Commission staff and the Energy Optimization Collaborative to work through the details of the final format of the Michigan Energy Measures Database, which will be inclusive of efficient electrification measures. Other efficiency related orders on today's agenda included case U21670 and case U21679. Starting with U21670, the Commission order directs utility providers to file their energy waste reduction reconciliations where applicable, an annual report in the docket numbers and by the deadline as listed on Exhibit A attached to the order. These reconciliations will reflect the energy waste reduction plans implemented during 2024. The order related to U21679 directs utility providers to file their next energy waste reduction plans inclusive of new requirements from PA 229 of 2023 in the docket number and by the date listed on the Exhibit A attached to the order. The Act requires all providers of electric and gas service in the state to establish energy waste reduction programs by filing energy waste reduction plans with the Commission. These plans will begin with program year 2026. Electric providers will have the option to also file an efficient electrification plan along with their energy waste reduction plan for a combined energy optimization plan. Plans filed by rate-regulated providers are subject to Commission approval and enforcement. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on the multiple energy efficiency activities as I have discussed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21567.
I second the motion. And before we vote on this, just a few words. First, to offer my thanks as well to Ms. Smith and our energy optimization section in particular. It was the energy waste reduction section until the passage of this new legislation, which brought us back once again to focusing on energy optimization. I also want to recognize this as an important step in implementing Public Act 235 of 2023 and building on the Commission's energy waste reduction activities that have been recognized by the American Council for an Energy Efficient Economy as some of the best utility programs in the country, and which continue to save money for Michigan residents and businesses, generating $2.54 in savings for every $1 invested, according to the most recent data. Ms. Smith talked about the Energy Optimization Collaborative, which has been in place for more than a decade at this point and is a model of public engagement. And so it only makes sense to use that collaborative as the appropriate vehicle as we continue to implement energy waste reduction programs and explore the new opportunities provided by the legislature around efficient electrification. So again, appreciate the staff and Ms. Smith for their work on this, as well as all those who commented in this proceeding that gave us a strong range of options in formulating these next steps. Is there any additional discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21567 is approved.
I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-21670 et al.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We'll now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-21670 et al. Is approved.
And finally, I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-21679 et al.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion on this? We'll now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-21679 et al. Is approved. I recognize Ms. Bachman.
Item 4B5 is case number U-21783, which involves a motion filed by Consumers Energy Company requesting approval for an extension of time to file its next electric and common utility plant depreciation case. The order before you grants the motion.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21783.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21783 is approved. Recognize Ms. Bachman.
Item 4C1 is case number U-21384, which involves an application filed by DTE Gas Company for approval of depreciation accrual rates. The order before you approves adjusted depreciation accrual rates as described in the order.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21384.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I'd like to thank the company and staff and the City of Ann Arbor for their thoughtful testimony on this issue. While most depreciation accrual rate cases tend to be fairly straightforward and don't draw many comments from the bench like this, especially when the order in front of us is to approve the depreciation rates that are not a significant departure from the status quo, I wanted to highlight a few of the arguments that Ann Arbor brought up in this case. Ann Arbor argued that the changing usage patterns resulting from state and local climate policies and other electrification trends may result in shorter lifetimes for natural gas infrastructure. And while this order does in front of us presently does not accept the shorter lifetimes for the calculation based on the evidence presented on this record, I am pleased to see a detailed discussion about the future of natural gas usage. It's crucially important that gas utilities are using accurate projections for natural gas usage for their calculations. This is fundamental for setting both depreciation rates like in this case, as well as natural gas service rates in the general rate cases. And even absent any direction from the commission, this is a fundamental piece of what a utility must do. They must consider how policy objectives, customer demands, and any other foreseeable factors can affect the depreciable lives of assets, including historical trends of natural gas demand, projected demand, the impacts of changing demand, and projected impacts of the transition towards electrification and decarbonization.
Thank you, Commissioner. All those in favor of the motion, we will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. Apologies. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21384 is approved. I recognize Ms. Bachman.
Item 4C2 is case number U-21291, which involves an application filed by DTE Gas Company for authority to increase its rates for the sale and distribution of natural gas. Staff member Kayla Gibbs will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Kayla Gibbs, and I serve as a Commissioner Advisor in the Commission Office. On January 8th, 2024, in the case number U-21291, DTE Gas Company, or DTE Gas, filed an application requesting authority to increase its annual gas sales revenue by $266 million based on a projected 12-month test year ending September 30th of 2025. The net increase to customer rates is $160 million, with $106 million already reflected in its rates through the existing infrastructure surcharge. The company's previous rates were established in case number U-20940 and approved on December 9th of 2021. DTE Gas requested continuation of the revenue deferral mechanism proposal and the infrastructure recovery mechanism, or the IRM, with a couple of adjustments, including rolling the meter assembly check and meter move-out expenditure to the gas renewal program with elimination of overdue meter assembly checks, including cathodic protection as part of the IRM, and adjusting meter move-out targets to create efficiencies by moving in conjunction with the main renewal. DTE Gas also requested regulatory asset and liability treatment for low-income assistance customer credits and a shared asset deferral mechanism. In addition, increasing the amount of the low-income assistance credits, continuing the regulatory asset treatment of pension and other post-employment benefit financing costs, and deferral accounting for the projected increase in leak detection and repair costs. DTE Gas proposed a return on equity of 10.25% and a capital structure of 48.5% debt and 51.5% equity. In addition to MPSC staff, intervention was granted to several parties, including the City of Ann Arbor, the Michigan Department of Attorney General, Billerud Americas Corporation, Sierra Club, Association of Businesses Advocating Tariff Equity, Dearborn Industrial Generation LLC, the Ecology Center, Union of Concerned Scientists, Environmental Law and Policy Center, Vote Solar, We Want Green Too, Solidarity, Michigan Power Limited Partnership, Retail Energy Supply Association, Natural Resource Defense Council, Michigan Environmental Council, Citizens Utility Board, and Urban Core Collective. The order before you provides guidance on several topics, a few of which are highlighted here. First, in regards to the IRM, the Commission approves the inclusion of capital expenditures related to the maximum allowable operating pressure and record management programs that are included in the Pipeline Integrity Program. The capital expenditures related to cathodic protection will remain in rate base and will not be included in the IRM. The Commission adopts 190 miles of main replacement and approves the bridge period capital expenditures for the program. However, disallows the $5.8 million for the projected test year. The Commission adopts $240 million of annual expenditures for the main replacement program as part of the IRM surcharge. Capital expenditures related to Bell River field headers 12 and 16 are disallowed due to inline inspection assessments not being completed until 2028. The decisions outlined here are not a comprehensive list, but seek to balance the growing costs of the IRM and the importance of projects surrounding safety and reliability. For sales forecasts, the Commission found the company's proposed 2-year period of August 2021 through August of 2023 consistent with past precedent and approves the projected test year gas sales of 159.1 billion cubic feet. In the company's next rate case, the Commission directs DTE Gas to include the forecasted yearly sales for each major customer class for the 10-year gas delivery planning horizon, and in each year of the gas delivery plan, list the amount of throughput expected on a peak demand day. The Commission also increases the low-income assistance credit from $30 per month to $40 per month, while the Energy Affordability and Accessibility Collaborative continues to evaluate the energy assistance programs. And finally, the Commission directs DTE Gas to update its gas delivery plan and file an updated plan to include considerations for the energy transition, which will have an impact on the future of natural gas systems. The updated gas delivery plan will show how the company considers various energy transition pathways, the associated costs and risks, how the company plans to achieve emissions reductions as part of its corporate goals and the state's emission reduction goals, and a timeline for achieving goals and interim goals. The updated gas delivery plan should be filed to the instant case no later than December 31st of 2025. The order before you adopts a capital structure of 50% equity and 50% debt with a rate of return on common equity of 9.8%. The Commission 8.9% and a long-term debt rate of 4.44%, with an overall cost of capital of 5.8%. The order authorizes DTE Gas to implement rates that increase its annual gas revenue by $113,788,000 over the rates approved in case number U-20940. DTE Gas is authorized to implement the rates approved in this order on or after November 21st of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbs. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21291.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion?
Yes, thanks, Chair. I'd just like to thank all the intervening parties for their testimony in this case, in particular our MPSC staff. The record for this gas rate case included testimony from 53 different witnesses, almost 2,700 pages of transcript, and 533 different exhibits. It has been 3 years since the last DTE gas rate case, and I'm pleased to see the progress made over those years in increasing the safety and lowering the carbon intensity of the gas distribution system. The order before us extends the infrastructure recovery mechanism as described by Ms. Gibbs, which includes replacement of aging gas mains, moving gas meters outside of people's homes, and a pipeline integrity program, and has to this point been successful in achieving these goals, hence why we've this proposed extension. This order also includes direction to extend a gas demand response program, helping to reduce gas usage during weather or reduced supply events. This order also emphasizes the importance of accurate gas usage forecasts, similar to my comments on the last DTE gas depreciation order, which included considerations and projections for gas delivery needed, accounting for state and local policies and emissions reduction goals. It's important that we're planning properly for the future to be able to ensure reliability and affordability for Michigan gas customers.
Thank you, Commissioner Peretick. Just a few words from me as well. The order in front of us ultimately represents a 2.28% increase in bills for the typical residential customer of DTE Gas. And that increase will help support important investments in the safety of DTE Gas's natural gas infrastructure, as well as the other elements that you mentioned, Commissioner Peretick. So I'm pleased with what I think is a thoughtful resolution of this order that was based on the record evidence provided by the company, our staff, and the Attorney General, and the many other intervening parties to this case. We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21291 is approved. We now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the commission. As mentioned in the notice for today's meeting, we will take public comments in the following order. First, from individuals attending in person, then from individuals participating remotely, either through Microsoft Teams or the phone, who have entered the speaker queue. As a reminder, this public comment period is for commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you're willing to share so that we have it for our records. And again, please limit comments to one per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes, so that we have a chance to hear from all who would like to comment. We do have 2 cards to begin. So first, Carol Sanborn, and then Val Walscheid-Brennan. Sanborn.
Hi, I'm Carol Sanborn and I live at 4550 North Hubbardson Road, Pewamo, Lebanon Township near the Maple River. This is regarding the U21471 ITC Metsi Nelson to Oneida Road project. This 345 kilovolt high voltage line is to be strung diagonally across our 80-acre field and within a football field length of our home. I was at the Clinton County Board of Commissioners meeting this morning where I demanded that they join in the Foster Swift appeal regarding PA 233. They voted all yays to join in. I am hopeful that with President Trump repealing the EV mandates, with private citizens fighting against this, and the county joining the Foster Swift appeal, that this will bring about the change we the people want. Just a reminder, PA 30 requires 2 routes, and there's no 2 routes by my house. There's only 1 route. So if you vote to approve this original plan, you will also be breaking the law, just as Metsi's breaking the law. And final, I don't agree with any mandates. I think mandates are governmental overreach. I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanborn. Val Walscheid-Brennan.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Val Walscheid-Brennan, and I live in Eagle Township. I'm here once again today regarding ITC, or Metsi's Nelson to Oneida 345 kV transmission project, case U21471. I'd like to thank Judge Saunders and the Commission for holding a public hearing last month to hear landowners' concerns. Of course, 3 minutes is never enough when my historical Centennial Farm and all 3 of my family properties are unjustly facing eminent domain and our family legacy is being destroyed. My family and numerous landowners have expressed concerns about Metsi's primary route through Eagle and Oneida Townships being indefensible because less than 1 mile to the east, ITC's alternative route follows nearly 8 miles of land that was approved over 50 years ago for transmission siting to the Oneida substation. Since pictures tell 1,000 words, I created a map of public information to share with you today. Yeah, it's hard to see on the camera, but you guys have a copy of that. Thank you. The map shows ITC's proposed route and their alternative route in relationship to unused land, bless you, unused land owned by Consumers Energy for transmission siting to the Oneida substation. This land is unused because consumers sold their transmission assets to METSI. Therefore, METSI should be using these available transmission siting routes when building to consumers' sites. Landowners along the alternative route have already accepted payment for the land, and their taxable values have already been adjusted. They've continued to use this land while Consumers Energy pays the taxes, and they've lived with the knowledge that someday the neighboring property would be used for transmission. So damage along that alternative route in Eagle and Oneida Townships has already been done. It is unbelievable that METSI would want to unnecessarily destroy another nearly 8 miles of virgin agricultural and historical land when an available transmission corridor already exists. Following existing transmission routes is ethical, it's more efficient and economical. And in fact, on August 8th of this year, the PGM Regional Transmission Board approved scope changes to a transmission expansion project in Virginia and Maryland so that it could be rerouted within existing transmission corridors. This is essential to minimize community impact, and Michigan and MISO should follow suit. One can see also from this map that the alternative route mostly follows a straight path along property lines, which is ideal. Design flaws in the primary route stand out. It's easy to see there's at least 11 more angles in the primary route. It cuts through the center of dozens of parcels, and the primary route also measures nearly a mile longer. This is not a best practice, and it significantly drives up costs for Michiganders who are already struggling to pay their utility bills. METSI is abusing the power of condemnation, and the people of Eagle and Oneida Townships are getting hurt, and we need the commission's help. Please help our townships, help the handful of historical centennial farms that are within them. So thank you for your time and listening to me once again today.
Thank you, Ms. Wilscheid-Brennan. We have one commenter participating remotely. I believe Charity is online. You can press *5 to, or *6, apologies, to unmute or unmute. I think she's participating by Teams. You can just unmute yourself that way.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, I'm Charity. I've been here before. I'm a resident of Detroit on the west side. I'm coming once again to urge you to not increase the rates for DTE Energy in the beginning of January. I don't really know what else can be said that hasn't already been said. Obviously, you guys have hosted meetings in Detroit and different cities. You've heard the concerns of Detroiters who are on dialysis. They've had outages last for days. They haven't been giving the assistance they need. Elders who have had their power be out for days on end have only gotten $35 of assistance. So once again, I know that obviously there were other things being discussed today, but that's still a decision that you guys have power over. You have power to, not raise these rates for communities that literally cannot afford for their rates to be hiked. So I'm just here once again urging the commission to not raise the rates. And yeah, I know that you guys don't respond to like questions, but like my question, it's just like more like a fact. My question is, what was if you could tell me like the last resolution that you all were talking about so I could look it up after. I was kind of confused by like the $30 assistance to $40 assistance. So I just wanted to be able to look that up after the meeting. If you could tell me like the docket number.
Sure. The docket number was U-21291, and it was the DTE Gas rate case. Thank you, Charity.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I believe that we don't have any additional speakers. So there's a mad dash to the podium at this point. All right, we will close the public comment period of the meeting. Please note, however, that the public may continue to submit comments at any time to the commissioners via email, and that address again is lara-mpsc-commissioners2@michigan.gov and is also available in the meeting notice. A few announcements and reminders before we close today. First, as a reminder, the Commission's offices will be closed this coming Monday, November 11th, in celebration of Veterans Day. And I want to offer my thanks, appreciation, and respect, and that of the Commission to all those who have served our nation in uniform, whether in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or Space Force. I also want to recognize those who have carried that commitment into service into roles with the Michigan Public Service Commission itself. I have the privilege, in fact, we have the privilege of working with a number of veterans at the MPSC, and we have benefited greatly from their military backgrounds and continued service. I'd also note that the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, which is the department in which the MPSC is housed, is certified as a gold level veteran-friendly employer by the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, and also to recognize both Consumers Energy and DTE Energy for their gold level certifications, with a number of other energy and telecommunications providers certified at the silver and bronze levels. So happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all who have served our nation in uniform, and we will be closed to honor your commitment on next Monday, November 11th. Second, I want to recognize November is National Native American Heritage Month, a time when we celebrate the traditions, languages, and stories of Native American and Alaska Native communities and ensure that their rich histories and contributions continue to thrive with each passing generation. This November, and indeed every month, we celebrate the culture and heritage of these remarkable Americans who deeply enrich the quality and character of our nation. We celebrate Indian country with its remarkable diversity of American Indian cultures and peoples, while remembering and honoring our veterans who have sacrificed so much to defend our nation. And I'd note on that, and consistent with our celebration of Veterans Day, that Native Americans have historically served our nation at a significantly higher percentage than the population as a whole, and continue to do so today. This year, we've made a conscientious effort to expand our outreach to the 12 federally recognized tribes in Michigan, including meetings with the leadership of individual tribes and attending the governor's annual tribal summit earlier this fall in Marquette, among other efforts. And we look forward to continuing and building on these activities and discussions in the months and years ahead. Third, I want to recognize Eric Hanser, who's the manager of our energy markets section. He was awarded the David Carr Award for outstanding staff contributions to the organization of MISO states at their annual meeting last month. Eric has been with the commission and been contributing to our work with OMS and MISO, as well as PJM and the organization of PJM states, and our work with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission for a number of years. And there's nobody more deserving among the ranks of the staff who contribute so much to the organization of MISO states than Eric. I had the privilege of knowing David Carr, after whom the award is named, who was a Mississippi staff member for a number of years, graduate of Ole Miss, both for undergrad and law school, and just as good a human being as you'd ever want to meet. And so I was pleased during my presidency of the organization of MISO states to change the Outstanding Staff Contribution Award to be named after David. His parents were there when we did that, and I couldn't be more pleased to see that the David Carr Award this year was given to Eric Hanser. And then finally, as I think everybody's well aware, Tuesday was Election Day. I want to express my thanks to all those who put themselves forward as candidates, and also to congratulate those who won. The results include a change in leadership of the Michigan House, and we look forward to welcoming the members who begin their service on the second Wednesday of January. I also want to specifically congratulate North Dakota Commissioner and current NARUC President Julie Fedorchak on her election to the U.S. House of Representatives. I've had the opportunity to know and learn from Julie over the past several years during my tenure with the MPSC. I know Commissioner Paratek, you have as well. And I'm confident that she will make an outstanding and excellent member of Congress representing the good people of North Dakota. Do you have any additional announcements before we close? Okay, well, our next commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, November 21st, 2024 at 1:00 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn today's meeting.
I second the motion. We will now have a vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Give you more. Some of these.